Good morning. I believe we are live. 0 viewers. It says 0 viewers. Hopefully that changes because otherwise I'm talking to no one right now. We have 2 viewers. Okay, so we should have a good start to the ASX today. The futures are up 0.75% or 55 points. And that's on the back of a volatile Wall Street session full of rumours and that sort of thing. And we can see that just on what happened with the NASDAQ. So let's have a look at the NASDAQ overnight. It ended up being up 0.19%. But if we have a look at the 1-minute chart for the NASDAQ today or overnight, it was insane, particularly between about, I think it was around about 11:45 p.m. our time and 12:15 a.m. That 30-minute period, there was almost a 10% swing. And in fact, you can see it there. Have a look at the ruler from the bottom to the top. Yep, about almost 10%, almost right on 10%. So that was in a 30-minute period, and that's all on the back of rumours that there was going to be a 90-day pause in the tariffs. And so everyone thought, hallelujah, a little bit more certainty for the next 90 days, but that was just rumours. That was just rumours. In fact, I did have a look at Market Index Morning Wrap. They did mention somewhere in this, somewhere down, where was it? I forget where it was. Here it is, yeah, Bill Ackman calls for a 90-day pause. So maybe it was on the back of Bill Ackman wanting a 90-day pause, and so some rumours flew around. And that is the problem in uncertain times. Rumours can do everything, anything. So a highly volatile session on Wall Street overnight. And funny enough, NASDAQ was only up 0.19%, Dow Jones down 0.91%. Now, yesterday, when I finished recording the ASX Daily Rundown video, and just after I think I finished, the NASDAQ futures were down as much as 5%. So that was one of the reasons we had a down day yesterday. And that's a reason why we probably should have a pretty good start to our trading session because Wall Street did not have as bad as a session. So Ed Covey says, are we buying today? Are we buying? Where's my mouse? Are we buying today? Or we buying today? Question mark. I actually did mention to someone, I don't know if it was in a video or something, that when the XJO gets to 7,100, I would start buying. And lo and behold, yesterday it got down to 7,175. So we are very clear near to where I would think about buying. The reason I would say that, 7,100, is because that's close to the bottom of the trading range. So typically if we get to near the bottom of the trading range, that's actually good sort of area to buy. We've seen that over the last 15 years. Only once have we fallen below the bottom of the trading range. That was during COVID-19. But there's one big but here. If we don't go into recession, I think the XJO will fall significantly below the bottom of the trading range. But the chances of that happening, 50-50, I don't know. Brick Filling says, this is a problem having 2 mouses, not mouses, screens. Rick Fellion says, what is the future say on the Dow? So they are up at the moment, but it's early. So it becomes interesting during the afternoon in our session to see how the futures go. Because if we do see the futures plunge, we might see our market fall along with it because the way we move in the afternoon is highly correlated to the way that American futures go. So that's it. Anyway, what I'm going to do now is we have seen a dearth of announcements today, this morning. Very quiet. So only 36 events. Last night, there was a couple of interesting announcements, particularly Star Entertainment Group. They might have been saved. I might have a look at that announcement in the ASX Daily Rundown video. There's no point even thinking about them just yet because they still have to release their half-yearly results. Platinum Asset Management also released their funds under management. I don't know why I'm not even talking about that particular fund manager, because all you have to do is have a look at the chart. Again, outflow of, is that the right one? Platinum Group Metals. No, that's the wrong one. The problem with TradingView, he has a lot of ticker codes around the world with the same, a lot of companies around the world with the same ticker code, and Placid Asset Management chart looks horrendous. That's the weekly chart. That is the weekly chart. Is this the chart of a high quality company? No, that's not. Well, yeah, stock. What do you want to call it? Share price down to 50 cents. Geez, that low. This used to be like a favoured fund manager. Share price $9.50 back in 2015. Whew. Ed Covey says, "Are you still a fan?" In fact, instead of me saying it, why don't I just show you? Ed Covey says, "Are you still a fan of IPD Group? I remember you liked them ages ago. Price looks great right now." Yes, I actually do hold. I was trading IPD Group, and then I decided to take a bit of profits, but I maintained a holding because I thought, and still believe, that the company is good value. So I'll go back to the daily chart. I believe that's me buying way back, $1.44. Took profits. I forget where I took profits. I should actually mark where I took profits. One of the reasons I took profits is because the chart's starting to look, it started to turn around, but I do like the value of this company. I think the market is underappreciating the potential. P/E ratio is at 14.4, dividend yield 3.46%. So I do like this company. Eggplant Egg mentions, if I can find the mouse doesn't want to go over. Is there still value in West African Resources? Funny enough, West African Resources did release an announcement this morning, and one of the only companies that did. There it is. West African Resources released a production update. Now, they should be doubling their production in the next year or so because they'll be starting a new mine. And one of the reasons I bought into West African Resources is because they just opened a mine, and I thought the market was undervaluing the company because there is a bit of sovereign risk there. And I still think that is true with West African Resources. And they're in, what's it, Burkina Faso? And yeah, so I still think there could be some value in West African Resources. Now, I'll go through the announcements before the market opens. You have a few minutes, I suppose. So West African Resources, nothing too significant. Whether that is in the top 5 stocks of the day remains to be seen, but there's not much to choose from. Not much to choose from. Deep yellow, final investment decision deferred for Tumas project. I suppose that should be negative, maybe deferred. No, I thought that said delayed. Okay, Auric Mining, purchase of 5 tenements at Higginsville. That's a small gold company. Zip, on-market share buyback program. Okay, that's interesting. So I actually did have a quick look at this, and as soon as I saw that, I went, really? Share buyback? Really? You're going down this road? They did mention positive cash flow, but still I'm questioning, is this the right capital allocation decision from Zip? I don't know. What do you think? Is this the right capital allocation? Is this the right thing to do with the cash flow? So they did mention, we continue to execute our strategic priorities with the group generating strong operating cash flows and maintaining balance sheet strength. So I'm not a shareholder of Zip. So if there is a shareholder of Zip out there, what are your thoughts about this on-market share buyback? Do you think Zip is significantly undervalued? And that's when I think share buybacks are really good, when a company is significantly undervalued. Anyway, what else do we have today? Yeah. Guzmán y Gomez. Third quarter, financial year 25 update. I'll talk about that company in the top 5 stocks because nothing much else to choose from. I should update this. I can't see anything. Pursuit Minerals, first production of lithium carbonate. That could be interesting. And there was a market update from Waypoint REIT, but I'm not the biggest fan of REITs. A company I do like, a small company I do like, X-Reality Group, execution of new debt facility of up to $6 million. Not the sort of announcement that will grab me. So let's move on. Hyperion X has a market cap of $700 million, I think. They commenced Titan Project DFS with US government support. Still a story stock, and there's a lot of promise potential already priced in. And that's it, up until 9:36. Let's just renew this, if that is a word. refresh, that's the better word, refresh, and see what else has been released. Nothing much, except Cochlear statement on US tariff announcement. Now, this would be very disappointing if Cochlear would have to pay a tariff on their products, because this is highly beneficial for people who are deaf, and that would be, I think, really sad. And confirms that it will continue to be able to rely on a chapter of the harmonized tariff schedule of the United States that provides for duty-free importation on a range of products into the US, including hearing implants. So I think sanity prevails there. Sanity prevails. It would be very sad if a product like this has a tariff import tax placed upon it. And that's what a tariff is. It's a tax. And the other one was Wellnex Appendix 4C. And if you know anything about me, you would know that I love this time of year because it is Appendix 4C and Appendix 5B season. So we're starting to see a bit of a drip and drab of Appendix 4Cs and Appendix 5Bs. And typically, if a company releases an Appendix 4C this early, there's a chance it might be good because they want to get it out there. Now, I'm not sure where the Wellnex fits into that category. So what I'm going to do is just have a look at when they released their most recent Appendix 4C. So December quarter. And does this company have a history of releasing it early? So if we go back to January, and this company released it on the 31st of January. So there is a chance this is a really good Appendix 4C. So in fact, what I might do is have a look at the most recent one, the previous one. It's not the most recent one anymore. And then I'll open this one as well. And I'll probably do this in the ASX Daily Rundown video. And were they operating cash flow positive? And they were not. So I think there's a chance this company might have had a good quarter. So let's have a very quick look. Oh, and yes, they're operating cash flow positive. And I think there's a good chance that management saw this and went, we have to get this out. We're operating cash flow positive. Let's get this out as soon as possible. And I would be surprised if they don't. And if they don't, they should just mention this straight away. And yeah, they're fairly quiet on. Oh, they know. The second highlight point mentions they are or had positive net cash flow from operations. So you can just see what management are focusing on when it comes to these Appendix 4C. So good one from that company. What else? Let's have a look at a few of your questions. Stock market. So I can't believe I'm talking to the stock market. There you go. Stock market says, what are your thoughts on rare earths? What's happening with China right now? Didn't they just ban this sort of thing from the rest of the world? Did I hear right? And if in that case, Linus Rare Earths is a really good play. And if I remember correctly, Linus Rare Earth had a really good day yesterday. Am I right? Linus was up 3% yesterday. So this could be a very good play. Yeah, so up 3.15% yesterday. So this could be a really intriguing play, Linus Rare Earths. So what's happening now with rare earths? I mean, they are critical. There haven't been many manufacturers outside of China. Linus is one of the only ones. So this could be a really good space to play. And also, is that Cavey or Covey? Ed Cavey mentions rare earths looks good. Linus looks nice, yeah. But then Stu Percy says rare earths will go down more if this China has tit for tat carries on. Okay. It's really, I find it really hard going between screens. Trader Hooper. Trader Hooper says, Cochlear announcement was marked as market sensitive, unlike all the others. Not sure. Yeah, that's a very important thing. I tend to focus on price sensitive announcements because they should be sensitive. These should be information that is sensitive, that the share price could go up, down, or up or down a fair bit. But that means I do filter potentially important information that is not marked price sensitive, and that happens on occasion. But the reason I do that is if you have a look at all the non-markets announcements, there's a lot. In fact, for some reason, ComSec is not bringing that up right now. It's very slow. But you can see, yeah, 621 events yesterday and 170 events already today. And you can see there's a lot of announcements here that for me personally, are not that important. For instance, update, notification of buyback, application for quotation of securities. Now, I miss out on change of director's interest notice, which is important, I think. Registry address change, these are irrelevant. So that is one of the reasons why I like to filter only the market-sensitive information. But sometimes, because of that, I filter out what could be market-sensitive information. And that's it. So the market is now open. And we do fully expect a pretty good open. So let's have a look at some of my watch lists straight away. We'll go to the old watch list. I do prefer the old ones. So Breville's up, and we'll list this by code. So Breville up, a few companies down. So this is probably not going to be broad. A few companies down there, so small caps still be affected. One thing I noticed yesterday, and if I go to what would be a good one, Australian high quality. One thing I noticed yesterday, a lot of the really good quality companies on the ASX, we saw a nice bounce during the day. Maybe ResMed, look at the ResMed's chart yesterday, really nice green candlestick. A lot of buying. We saw that with WiseTech. We saw that with a lot of Pro Medicus had a nice bounce as well. And I saw this with a lot of high-quality companies, a really good bounce during the day. So it seems like a lot of people were buying these these high-quality companies, and we didn't see that bounce with many other companies. And so a lot of small-cap companies just remained down all day. Michael Vass, first time watching a live neppy. Yeah, I'm not sure how many times I'm going to do these live videos because I don't like being. What's the best way to say it? So when I do all my other videos, a lot of times it's just spur of the moment. I just go, I'm going to start recording now. That's it. With this, I have to plan, and I'm not the biggest fan of just planning. Waiting and planning. I just really hate that. Waiting and planning, or planning and waiting. So I'm not sure how many times I'll do this, but I don't mind doing these live videos, but don't expect this every single day. He also bought US stocks heavy in pre-market. Good work. How's the weather today? Oh, my favorite topic. Well, not really. I can see some fair weather Q outside. Fair weather Q means it's going to be a pretty good day. And it's April. Mornings now becoming a little bit cooler in Brisbane. Exactly what it should be happening this time of year. So we can just feel winter coming. Well, maybe not just yet, but yesterday was an absolutely brilliant day. Yesterday I went to the bank because I had $480,000 in my bank account. I felt uncomfortable having that amount of money, so I went to the bank and transferred that money to my solicitor. So now they're in control of buying my land, which will be settled in 10 days' time. Anyway, so that's the most money I've ever had in my account at one time. And I still went through all the checks at the bank, fraud checks, and that's still, anyway. Motivational says, this will be my last question. How long have I been going? 18 minutes. I think what I want to do is keep these live videos down to about 15 or 20 minutes. So I'll talk about Xero and South32. And the reason why Xero is because Motivational says, is Xero at a good buy level right now? Here's my thoughts on Xero. Do you believe this is a high quality company? Is Xero a high quality company? I definitely think it is in the makings of a high quality company. And this is another company that had a really good bounce yesterday. So that is, I think, the market showing they perceive this company to be high quality. Share price has dropped a fair bit, which is normal. So a lot of times what I do with these sort of companies, by the way, I'm a shareholder of Xero, so I could be a little bit biased. If you have a look at the weekly chart with the 200-week moving average on it, share price is still above it. So there is still possible downside before you say, oh, this is really good value. And I bought Xero back when it did fairly significantly back in 2022. I forget exactly what price I bought it. And even then when it dipped, people were saying, oh, it's still overvalued. So There is still some questions about Xero, particularly how they roll out. Are they still trying to get into USA? I think they are. Anyway, so nice bounce yesterday, and I wouldn't be surprised if they have a really good bounce today. In fact, I'm just going to go back to this, and what I'm going to do is have a look. What I should do is have an ASX 20 watch list in ComSec, because I want to see how the ASX 20 are going right now. So let's have a look at the banks, financials. Do I have a bank? Do I have a bank? Yeah, I do have a bank. And they're up. And by the way, you have to refresh ComSec. We are up 0.71% so far. So pretty good bounce. And the last one was South32 from Ed Cavey. Show. South32, buy, hold, or sell. Well, I can't give any advice. Can't say whether it's, I could say maybe it's a buy or sell or hold for me personally. Now, it is a mining company. So for me, mining companies can never be considered high quality because they can be quite cyclical. Share price has dropped a lot. It's dropped from 370 to about 259. Nice little bounce yesterday, but still, look at all those massive gaps. It's going to be significantly oversold. That's the other thing. And let's have a look at the weekly chart. I've still got my buy. I bought South32 back just after COVID-19. So then I sold it because I bought it before it broke out and I sold it on that run up. I don't think these sort of companies are long-term holds. I'd rather trade them. But where the share price is now, we're talking about 4-year low. In fact, the last time the share price was this high was when I was trading it back in 2020. So it all depends on what's going on in the future. Now, if we go into trading war, commodities were going to fall. Most commodities will fall. And I think there's further downside. And that's the big question. How is a trading war going to play out? We just don't know at this point in time. How does back work? I haven't received any emails. I'd like to sell mine. Okay, so I'm going to end this live session right here. Because typically what I do is after the market has opened, so we're starting a pretty good day. Afternoon, all depends on what happens with the American futures, but we expected a bounce. And I should see how Challenger's going. So, it's down a little bit. That's interesting. So I thought it'd be bouncing pretty nicely today because of their announcement yesterday. Anyway, so we expected a bounce, but just because we're bouncing doesn't mean we have hit the low. So if we have a look at the XJO, it is still oversold. I'm going to say that it is oversold. I don't have indicators. I should have indicators. Yeah, there it is. So the XJO is oversold right now. That's the weekly. If you go have a look at the daily chart for the XJO, it was significantly oversold back in the middle of March. Then we had fairly weak bounce, but it is oversold at the same levels right now. So that's why we do expect a bounce. How strong the bounce is, we just don't know. Okay, so that's all I have for this particular live video. And yeah, have a good day and happy buying if you're buying. See you later.